plan to organize for commencement of engaging stakeholders on this bill or on these bills. I also received communication from the Right Honourable Speaker in regard to the Chiswa investigation regarding the compensation and chasing away of people by KCCA and UNRA to suspend investigations because there's a matter before court. So until that matter is determined, this committee cannot proceed with that investigation. Good enough, KCCA is also here. We shall not call you here again over the same matter until the matter before court is resolved. But you know, we also have other reports to deal with and report very urgently, including the Isimba public access breach and the very many petitions that we have not dealt with. So having said that, honorable members, I would like to proceed to the next item on the agenda, and that is Kampala Flyover construction and road upgrading projects. That is, if there is no reaction to my remarks from this side. No reaction. Okay, we can proceed. So, honorable members, as you are aware, this parliament appropriated funds for the construction of Kampala Flyovers. Of course, work commenced according to the little information that we have, but for so long now, we have not heard from the implementers of this project how far they have gone. Is the work on course? Are we doing well in terms of time? Are we doing well in terms of financing? Are there any issues that may cause any delays in the future? Is everything okay? So, as per our mandate as a committee on physical infrastructure, we need to be updated on this project so that at any one point we are able to answer queries on the floor of Parliament, if there are any. So it is against this background that we invited you, KCCA and UNRA, the people in charge of this project. KCCA being in charge of the city where the project is being implemented, but also UNRA, the people actually constructing the flyover. I don't know who is going to speak first, because who would like to speak first on this side?
Maybe the senior.
The senior? They are all idiots.
No, in terms of
so
who have been handling the matter.
yes. So
thank you, Chair. Thank you, honourable members. We have provided this honourable CA brief on the project that will give you the details of the project and the status where we are at. Chair, if you indulge me, I'd like to invite Engineer Samuel Muhozi to take us through the brief. It's rather detailed, but he can give us the highlights.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. As directed by the committee, we sent a soft copy of the report, the draft, but we also put in that office, which I think is in this committee now. So I will take you through the same report. The status brief is as of 23rd September, day 2020, on the Kampala Flyover construction and road upgrading project. If you could go straight to page 3, as a way of introduction, the Uganda National Roads Authority, whose mission is to develop and maintain a national roads network that is responsive to the economic needs of Uganda for the safety of all road users and environmental sustainability of the national roads corridors, is responsible for managing, maintaining, and developing the national roads network across the country. This includes also some responsibility for primary road networks within cities and municipalities and local governments, including KCCA.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to invite you to a cup of tea, if you so wish. This will be what it is, I don't mind.
Thank you, Chair.
So, thank you, Chair. In order to mitigate traffic congestion within Greater Kampala Metropolitan City, several studies have been taking place. And one of them was taken by JICA. JICA is Japan International Cooperation Agency, which conducted a preparatory survey on the Greater Kampala Roads Improvement Project way back in 2013 and 14. This one consisted of a review and update of the JICA's feasibility study that was done in 2010 to prepare a comprehensive feasibility study. So the study concluded that the construction of 2 flyovers at Chitugum House and Clock Tower junctions, respectively, and widening of Mkwano Road and improvements of interfacing roads and junctions would be effective and feasible to achieve the traffic congestion mitigation objective. Based on that, the government of Uganda, represented by UNRA, commissioned the detailed design and tender assistance of the Kampala Flyover construction and road upgrading project to ensure that the detailed design is prepared in time for the anticipated loan from the JICA to finance the construction of the project. And on 11 September 2015, the loan agreement amounting to 19.989 billion Japanese yen, or around 604 billion UGX, Uganda shillings, for the project was signed between the government of Uganda and the JICA. This project was originally divided into 3 packages, package 1, 2, and 3, according to JICA's feasibility study. During the study, it became apparent that the harmonization of the railway viaduct and the standard gauge railway project was necessary, which inevitably required significant modifications to package 3 design. Consequently, UNRA decided to proceed with procurement of the contractor for packages 1 and 2 as harmonization for the other package 3 with standard gauge railway and others are being worked out. So the main objective, if I go to chapter 2 of this project, the overall objective is to improve traffic flow within Greater Kampala metropolitan area by decongesting the central business district of Kampala through construction of the flyover, underpass, pedestrian bridges, road upgrading, and improvement of several junctions. That picture or drawing shows the project location, where it is in Kampala here, and the scope of lot 1, which has 2 packages. In package 1, we are constructing a flyover whose total length is around 584 meters. A bridge is around 366 meters. Then some roads add up to a total of 584, which is going to be a 2-lane. We are also upgrading the roads, including footways and drainage. And these are Queen's Way, where we are widening it to 4-lane from the existing 2-lane. We have also Entebbe Road, section towards Entebbe Road. We're improving it to 6-lane. We have a pedestrian bridge, which will be around 220 meters. We have a pedestrian bridge at Clock Tower and Sopo Right also, the one which is 72 meters. Then we shall also upgrade the junctions, the Shoprite junction and the Clock Tower junction. In the same lot, but package 2, we are also constructing an underpass. That underpass is in Zambia underpass, totaling 430 meters, of which 130 meters is a tunnel. In the road upgrading, the footways and the drainage and all, we have Mkwano Road, which shall be widening. It's around 900 meters, 4-lane, from existing 2-lane as of now. Gawa Road will also be widened to 4-lane, and the new link connecting Hospital Junction and the new Chibuli will be constructed. There will also be junction upgrading of total of around 630 meters, 2-lane, and these will be the Zambia Junction, the Hospital Junction, the new Chibuli Junction, and we shall also have a Chibuli Junction pedestrian bridge of a length of about 38 meters. We have lot 2 also, which we have not started, but work is ongoing. So it will also give you some information. Stage 1 of lot 2 will be considering the construction of the flyover around Kitu Mkwano Road, Jinja Road, which is about 1.372.5 meters, which will be 4-lane, each lane of 3.5 meters. We shall have so many structures as indicated in the report, and we shall also be upgrading roads and drainage. The junctions like Mkwano and others will be Africana, will be signalized to improve on the traffic management. And we shall also have to get some maintenance equipment for these flyovers in the project. Lot 2, stage 2 will have a flyover at Chitugumu, including Useful Road, Nairo Avenue, off the ramp. We shall have a bridge there. We shall have all these structures as indicated here. Landscaping will also be part of the project, including Centenary Park and Electoral Commission Park. Now, the contract data for this package 1, which is ongoing. The contract is the Kampala Flyover Construction and Road Upgrading Project. The funding is from JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, and the government of Uganda. The government of Uganda is paying for land. The employer representing government is the Uganda National Roads Authority, and the contractor is Shemuzu Konaike Joint Venture. The engineer is Nippon Koei and ACE Japan Engineering with ICS Engineering and Environmental Limited, the joint venture. The signing of the contract took place September 2018. The order to commence was given on 4th May 2019, and the time for completion of this project is supposed to be 970 days. The original completion date is slated at December 2021. The district liability period of 1 year will follow. The contract amount for this project is Japanese yen 2,029,324. Billion.
2 billion.
Yes, 2 billion, sorry. And US dollars 43,638,836.5. With Uganda shillings 61,563,272,275 shillings. The original contract price, USD dollars, with Japanese yen. This for services, for supervision, services for the consultant. The implementation structure. This project is not implemented by UNRA alone because of its nature and location. So the project employer is UNRA, and the project-based affiliated agency is KCCA. The financing is from JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, and the government of Uganda. Uganda, we are financing for right-of-way or land and the relocations of services, electricity, water, telecoms, and others. The consultant has already said it's Nippon, and the contractor is Shimizu Konaiki in Japan. The executing agency, UNRA, collaborates with KCCA during construction. And the problem is this mask, the microphone. So we are collaborating with KCCA in the construction, including the respectability period. And of course, our lead ministry is the Ministry of Works and Transport, which is responsible for policy formulation and monitoring. Various entities such as public utilities, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, NEMA, and others are also involved in this project at various levels. The project is monitored by both Project Coordination Committee and the Contract Management by the Contract Management team. The Project Coordination Committee consists of approved officers representing JICA itself, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Works, KCCA, and UNRA. The Contract Management team consists of, the names are there, that's basically UNRA and KCCA. Progress of works as at 21st of September. We have acquired land up to 99.5%. We have a few issues which we shall expound on later.
For lot one.
This is for lot one actually. For lot one, we have a small issue, I think, around in Zambia.
Around where?
Zambia.
Zambia.
But I think the issue is not as big as for lot two. We shall maybe explain later on all those. The financial progress is 21.24 against 47.5 for civil works. Basically, we pay advance payment and some IPCs. The overall progress is 11.2 against 35 for civil works. After utility relocations have been done, physical progress is 4.8 against 33, and the time of the 970 day, 52% has elapsed. Site clearance we have completed along Queensway and Mukwano Road, over 3.3 hectares to date. Another activity which is called common excavation spoil, 2,800 cubic meters has been executed to date along Queensway side, traffic islands at Cook Tower and Shoprite junctions. On relocation of utilities, which was our first activity, local construction was nominated as subcontractor for the coordination of utility relocation works. Currently, the relocation exercise stands at 91.5% completion. However, there are some sections that have not yet been completed, representing the 9%. 8 towers was assigned to relocate and decommission of the tower, which has been done. It started works on 10th July, and has been completed. Umeme or electricity diversions, relocations, works commenced in May, and currently 97.7% of all the relocations of Umeme have been done. All overheads are 100% complete. Our underground relocation lines are around 95% complete. National water and sewerage relocation works commenced in May, with sewer lines at 96% completion now, and water lines at 86%. Telecommunication relocations, The installation of poles for temporary relocation of telephone lines has been completed, and the shifting of the telecom lines had been delayed because there was a problem of paying advance to the subcontractor, which has been done now, and works now stand at 82.3%. With UTL doing their work 100%, MTN 100%, Officer 100%, Airtel 89.8%, Rock Telecom 72.7%, and there's another one called C Squared. Asked and UPF at 41.6%.
UPF is clinical response.
Yes, they have their special. The demolition of the clock tower. The works of the tower commenced in July 2020 and were completed on 15th August. The tower relocation is temporarily paved with concrete to be used for traffic diversion. The flyover, all the 76 steel piles have been manufactured and delivered to site, and 99 piles for all the intended structures are on site. Piling work is to commence following the removal of the clock tower, the diverted traffic, and the location of utilities. We could not begin those civil works when we still had these issues to relocate and have the clear, clean right of way. On the pedestrian bridges, manufacturing is ongoing by Atada Dong, the company in Vietnam, who will install the structures after relocation of utilities. The pedestrian bridge submitted on 20th May showed drawings for the clock tower and inclusion areas are being awaited, but they are under process. The Zambia underpass structure, rockfill works have been done for the foundation, and the box structure has been completed. There is some concrete works ongoing, and the reinforcement and placement of base. This is basically concrete works. I don't want to go into all these details, might go on. But they are ongoing, foundation works are ongoing. Because drainage culverts, 4 new drainage culverts, one at Pan-African, one at Katwe, St. Denis and Kaiba, and one extension of Nachibo at be done. And an 8-meter segment of St. Denis cross box culvert has been completed. The construction of outfall channel, St. Denis cross culvert has been completed. We are setting out and placing rockfill and others for the formwork for the slab. Backfilling G15 material and all these works are also ongoing. The retaining walls, the construction of the retaining walls at the Shainage 0 plus 207 up 240 along Queensway Road commenced on 26 August. Rockfill, blinding, concrete, slab concrete casting, all these works are ongoing. For lot 2, the design is ongoing. The few challenges we have faced on this project, one of them include the COVID-19 pandemic. This one affected some of the staff, because most of the staff on this project, the key staff were foreign staff from Japan, and they could not come in time to do some specialized works. There was also some lockdown which affected, remember, transportation and others, influx of materials, and so there was some effect on COVID. We had also some delay in signing the contract for the consultant for the supervisor, which was overcome in May 2019. Relocation of utilities have taken time also, because during the course of works, National Water would come even sometimes to relocate the area. They didn't have even the plan of where the pipes are. So what was given when the subcontractor started removing, new ones would emerge outside the plan that was given. So there were some delays. As already said, the contractor could not mobilize all the staff because of restrictions in travel because of COVID. Some staff delayed coming. And there were also some design review changes, including detailed design. Inclement weather also, this flooding that comes in the city every time affects the progress. Most of the works are flooded. We have to wait for some time to continue working again after the floods have subsided, or some measures have taken place, like the watering. We have taken some actions to expedite the progress so far. On the issues of staff, the Minister of Foreign Affairs has been contacted by UNRA and have given clearance for those staff abroad coming, and most of them are expected. I think 2 days from now they will be here.
Okay.
Yes, 25th September. At least 10% of the site, which was supposed to be handed to the contractor within the first 3 months, and 100% by 12th months. We are supposed to give the contractor 60% of the site in 3 months, and all the site within 1 year. We managed to give around 79%, and before the year ends, we have given him already 99.95%, which is close to 100. So on land, I think we are not being bad on that lot one. There has been advanced delivery. We are lucky that all these pyros are manufactured from overseas, especially Japan. But by the time of lockdown, most of them had arrived on site. So that one was an advantage because it would have affected also the delivery of these materials. Yes. Utilities relocation are 91%. The demolition of the clock tower has been completed. The mobilization of the piling machine, which is supposed to be drilling the piles down, is underway and expected to be in the country by December 2020. The construction of the underpass works are ongoing, and the enabling works for the construction of the required tours, traffic diversions, and everything are underway. What follows are the pictorial presentations of the clock tower, how it will look like, and some progress photographs. Thank you, Chairman. That's the brief.
You hand over back.
Thank you, Chair. That is the brief on the Kampala Flyover project and status up to 21st of September.
Thank you so much for that wonderful brief. Is there any information we would expect from KCCA to supplement this? Madam Edie?
Thank you, Chair. At this stage of development, there is nothing significant to supplement this report.
Thank you. So, honorable members, as we were receiving the presentation by Engineer Muhozi, some of my colleagues walked in. Let me give them a chance to introduce themselves before we go into the interaction over this project. I'll begin from the farthest.
Mr. Chairman, with apologies for coming late, I am James Baba, a member of Parliament for Local County and a member of this committee.
You're most welcome, Honorable. Next.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Nato Marino, a member of Parliament for Kampala Authority and a member of this committee.
Karibu sana.
Chair, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm sorry for coming late. Also, steps that on my way. I'm George Wilson Sambagumama, Member of Parliament by constituency in Kampala District, and Vice Chairperson of this committee. You are all welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Mohozi, once again. During your presentation, I did note that our major task as government of Uganda on this project is mainly on land and probably relocation of utility. But when you are presenting about Lot 1, you mentioned a challenge, could be a land problem somewhere in Zambia. Would you like to elaborate on that land problem? And if there is any land problem elsewhere on the same project, please highlight it. Because now that we are government of Uganda, we want to play our part so that we do not delay this project. I'm also informed that any delays on this project will cost Uganda at least $500,000 per month. I don't know how true that statement is. I would like to get clarification to the people here. And if we are beginning to lose money, if at all we are already beginning to lose money, we just need to know what is happening. I think we may first all of us ask, or you want question and answer like that? They first respond to mine. Engineer Mohos.
Thank you, Chair. As I presented for the third one, we even surpassed the requirement of land. We were supposed to give 60%, give 79 in the first 3 months. And we are going to supposed to give 100% if we are close to at the end of 1 year.
So we are doing so well.
We are safe with those ones.
Wow.
We cannot be anything. The other issue of land, the head of land acquisition, the one explains there are so many strategies of this. Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. There is a meeting now. I want to add my voice to mention the few challenges that we have on land. Just like the director has explained, we really don't have major challenges. On Lot 1, the 0.5% is mainly a section or a stretch along Gaba Road from the traffic lights, Zambia traffic lights. We have, or some of us that have used that road, we have some vendors who deal in furniture. These vendors are organized in an association called in Zambia Carpentry and Joinery Association, Sakaja, and they occupy a stretch of about 500 meters from the traffic lights towards or along Gaba Road. Now, these vendors operate within the old road reserve of Gaba Road. They don't own land and they don't claim for it, but their interest is continuity of business. So they are saying that when the road comes, they will lose their activity and therefore their livelihood. So as a project, we got a challenge of relocating them. However, in our preliminary discussions with them, they indicated that there is a project which is being funded under the State House Office of the President, and they have 6 acres of land along the southern bypass, and that works have commenced of erecting structures there to relocate them. And we took a step ahead to engage State House over the matter, who confirmed the project, but did not confirm timelines when that project will be completed. So they are not sure within what stretch of time they will have that project completed. And yet, just like the report has been presented before the members, we have limited time for this project, so the issue is the project needs to find land to relocate these dealers, which land is not easily available. So we are in negotiations with them to get a solution. So we shall give an update at a later date. Then the other major issue is on Lot 2, which is a section of land at Centenary Park owned by Miss Nalongo Estates. So we have developed an MOU which is before the Attorney General. So we are waiting for signatures. Once the signatures are obtained, then we shall also surrender that access to the contractor. So it's still something that is delaying. So those are the only issues that I find outstanding.
MOU for what? What is the MOU for the Nalongo?
Now, the MOU is in regards to a lease that was extended to Miss Nalongo Estates by KCCA, which by the time of the project, it had expired. So there was need for its renewal, the process which had not yet been completed. So because of that, and because it would take some bit of time to extend it, we opted that KCCA and Miss Nalongo Estate go into an MOU. As and when the lease will be extended, first we can have access to site. So that's the MOU we are waiting for as UNRA.
The lease expired, correct?
Yes.
So what did they do? Yeah, I think when the lease expires, the land reverts them. Why against them? The land belongs to KCCA. Yeah, what?
Now the area of contention is that Miss Nalongo Estates has some undertakings with KCCA which UNRA may not really be privy to, but what we know is that they undertook an MOU.
Madam PG,
Before KCCA comes, at least I think I have some background regarding
on the record, would you like to speak on that?
I'm just surprised because I think Madam Kadina and the KCCA, they granted them whether with that committee of processing. I think you remember when we met His Excellency over that matter, and I thought we were going to be solved after that discussion because I think Honorable Katumtu was the chair for processing then, and who is also a lawyer. I think it explained and remember after that meeting. Because as stated, the lease had expired, but Nalongo Estate was still stuck that they should renew the lease. They should renew the lease, yet it does not belong to them. Because the concern at that time still was saying, we don't want to place the contract. So I'm just surprised that that matter, which is supposed to be very presented in the house, is still. I don't really where the MOU and what issues are coming. Maybe that's where the KCCA now will have to come in an Attorney General. This matter was solved because you being an accomplished surveyor, you were lands and not you work with Minister of Lands. Once the lease has expired and its owners on, of course, you can be given the first period to if they renew. But if there is any other thing, like for this case, this is a government project. It's not for an individual. It's a matter of public importance, public interest. No individual should really be making it fail. I'll come and ask the second part of that law to regarding that area also. I'll ask it, but I think that this specifically first of all needs to be clarified. What is all this? We may even need to have the Attorney General. What is this MOE is trying to process? Because we cannot subject Ugandans to lose money because of an individual. The property does not even belong again to how it is the lease expired.
Yeah, but Madam E.G. KCCA should tell us the lease expired. So what is the story? It is your land. Now, why again go to Nalongo to be moved?
Thank you, Chair. The issue of the memorandum of understanding KCCA and Nalongo is actually being handled, and I'm glad to say I'm here with my legal team who handled the matter, and if you'll permit, he will explain.
Yes, legal, please tell us.
Thank you, Chair and EP. What actually expired was what we ordinarily term as the conditional period. The lease they had a conditional period of 5 years, which expired, but prior to expiry, they had applied for a renewal of that term to a full term of the lease for the 9 years. Now, the MOU that is being referred to was designed to govern the relationship between KCCA and Nalongo Estates with regard to the land take by government of all the land that is needed for this particular project. This was on the instructions of His Excellency the President, who felt that in spite of the expiry of the initial lease and the fact that Nalongo Estates had applied for an extension of the same lease, that should not in any way hinder a government project. So he instructed the Executive Director then, Dr. Jennifer Musisi, to ensure that the land required for the project is surrendered to government prior to leasing of the rest of the land back to Nalongo Estates. And he said that in the interim, that can be done via an MOU as the whole process is run through the procurement chain as required by law. So, as a result of those particular meetings and on the instructions of His Excellency the President, the Office of the Solicitor General did generate an MOU to that effect. Did generate an MOU.
Chair, just one thing I wanted to clarify.
Please clarify.
As he submits, you know there are two things here. There's conditional period and land lease.
Yes.
Do those people have a title or not? Or it's a conditional period that we're talking about?
Presently, they have no title. They are just in possession.
Yeah, then that is another thing.
Yes.
When you talk about a land lease, that actually is hampering this. It's different from a conditional period of operation, which is undertaken by KCCA and Nalongo. So where is the problem?
Also, Honorable Mutonyi wants to clarify. Use the microphone.
Thank you, Chair. I think the whole consideration is from the humanitarian point of view. Bearing in mind that not all the land, as I can get from the lawyer, not all the land required, excuse me, not all the land required for our works is, maybe I can say, not all the land leased to Nalongo is required by our works or for our works. And therefore, what the President, I think, meant was that they chop off that land, that piece, which is required, and then they leave the rest, maybe for KCCA, to lease to Nalongo. I think that is where now they have to generate a memorandum of understanding in that regard. Because not all Nalongo's land is going to be used by... Okay. Okay, which had been initially leased to her. Not all of it is required for the road works or the flyover works. And therefore, they have to come into a memorandum of understanding so that they tell her, we are chopping off this. Do you still want the remaining part? I think that is the thing.
Before the legal counsel comes in,
if I'm not mistaken.
Engineer Vyandala wants to seek more clarification.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I'm sorry I'm late. First of all, let me just talk about what my colleague Honor was about the land needed. This committee, I thought, recently passed the sizes of the road reserves. Isn't it true, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, the roads act.
And Parliament also passed it, which is 80 meters. So I doubt whether there will be that. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, I think what we should know, why was Nalongo not given the initial lease and then after construction given full lease? What were the reasons? On what conditions was Nalongo allowed to do some works there? And what was she permitted to do? You see, that place, around that place, there was this man, Okumuringa. You check in your records. Okumuringa was there and was denied for reasons.
The former MP?
No. Yeah. He was an MP, and the minister, the one who was bringing visuals in Uganda here. So I think the best we can do, since His Excellency, we are told, without any evidence anyway, I haven't seen any evidence, but assuming what you are saying is true, this can only be done on humanitarian reasons. And we have to be very careful when you are doing it, because it can turn around you. Because there are so many people who have got land, it has expired, not renewed, and not compensated. But if there are concrete, special reasons for compensating her, and since the legal man says, the president said, you give us the documents confirming this, we study, counter-check, and really know that exactly what you are saying is what the president was communicating. Because the moment you start such a thing, you have set a precedent. You have set a precedent. I don't think maybe Narong was never allowed to build such a structure. Do you have approved plans for those structures? KCCA, please. ED, do you have the approved plans?
You don't even need to ask that question. You were with me in Kosase. You remember when they appeared, that was one of the conditions, that the Nalong estates went ahead to do things that were not required of in that place. And one of them was the issue of the permanent structures, which in the original agreement and the lease, where she was given a lease, she was not supposed to do, but she went ahead to do what was not required. So that alone would have tantamounted in non-renewal of the lease. But the more important thing is about public interest. This is now individual interest versus public interest. What takes precedence? I thought it's the public interest that takes precedence. If you want to handle the thing on humanitarian ground, there is also a limit to that. Is there space? When I look at the drawings here in that area, which is that area which can have the type of projects that Nalongo wants to hold, that it can only be minimal thing, maybe space, minimal space which can be available maybe for something like just a small park, a leisure park, a cement park, or a children's park, but not the type of projects of what is intended of. But also, why should it take, because when we met the president at the Kosasa, or with the KCCA and the team I talked about, it's 2 years down the road. How can it take a year, 2 years to make an MOU? Can it take 2 years? It can't, unless someone is not doing his work. But is there, first of all, room that can still be given to her, given the magnitude of the project that we intend to put in that place?
Okay. KCCA, would you like to lay on table a copy of the said MOU so that we can know the details and we speak from an informed point of view? Because now it seems it's a big issue now.
And the authority to do that MOU.
Huh?
The authority.
Yes.
Because that MOU appears to be going the prevailing rules and regulations. So that MOU must be worked out upon based on certain instructions. So those ones you should also submit them.
Legal or KCCA?
The legal will come in definitely, but in light of what you were saying, the everything that KCCA has done, everything that KCCA has done has been informed by the advice of the Solicitor General, and we have that documentation, and at an appropriate time we shall make it available. And so it's not working outside the guidance of government and the Solicitor General. Both the MOU that has been executed and the subsequent decisions that were taken were based on, it's all put in writing and was forwarded to us, and we based it on that. But Chair, if you will, the legal could finish that part of the submission so that the committee is well informed of what we are saying.
Please, legal proceed.
Chair, just a minute.
Before legal comes in?
Yes.
Okay, Honorable Dur.
When I paid attention to the submissions of the legal person here, he said that the Solicitor General actually drafted the MOU. But Madam ED has said they gave an opinion or they wrote a legal advice. So can they put it on record? What exactly did the Office of the Attorney General do? Did they actually draft the MOU or they gave an opinion? In which case, we would like to see those documents. Secondly, what were the issues that necessitated His Excellency the President to come in? What exactly were the issues that was beyond the KCCA that needed the President to personally intervene? We would like to have that here on record.
Legal counsel.
Thank you, Chair. To begin with, I would like to clarify on the last question. The MOU was actually drafted by the Solicitor General's office. That should be on record. Secondly, that MOU was forwarded with a legal opinion of the Solicitor General's office. That should also be on record. That legal opinion of the Solicitor General's office draws a conclusion to the effect that, one, Nalongo Estates leases should be extended in law. They are entitled to an extension of their lease. That is one of the conclusions they draw. Secondly, they draw a conclusion that has a necessary inference from the extension. Nalongo Estates Limited is entitled to compensation for the land take by government.
What was the entitlement to the extension embedded in the first contract, in the first lease agreement? The entitlement to the extension you're talking about?
Yes.
Was it part of the first agreement before the expiry?
Yes, Chair. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to ask the legal officer to assist us before we go. You as the planners of the city, what is planned for that area?
Thank you, Honorable. Centenary Park was originally planned for a public recreational area. It was not supposed to have building of a permanent nature. It was only supposed to have structures of more of a temporary nature. And the disputes surrounding the use of that particular park arise out of the fact that Nalongo Estates breached the initial lease agreement and constructed some permanent structures in a public park.
Where were you when that was being done? Who approved the plans for those permanent
Those plans have never been approved. There's no approval.
Why did you demolish? So why are you babysitting here? Somebody doing illegal things?
Order, Honorable
The
Member.
Solicitor General is saying they are entitled.
Order, Honorable Member. We are babysitting a person who breached the first contract, the first lease agreement. But please continue and finish.
Yes, and Honorable Chair, you will recall that KCCA did a re-entry on that particular property because of those breaches. But because the initial lease agreements had an arbitration clause, the matter was referred to arbitration. When the matter went to arbitration, under the Center for Arbitration and Dispute Resolution, the arbitrator found in favor of Nalongo Estate, saying the re-entry was not lawful.
It is arbitration, it's not court.
You see, the arbitrator takes a decision based on the facts you have put there. If you tell the arbitrator that this place is residential and somebody has put a factory, I can't see arbitrator saying, no, the factory is okay. Then what is the purpose of you being there? They are your planners. That alone is so big, unacceptable. You cannot sit there and say, who is a Solicitor General is not from the moon. He's one of us here. You didn't give facts. How could you give a Solicitor General that this person breached this and this, he has never done anything right? And the Solicitor General says, he's right?
Yeah, maybe the council can also help us. What you call as breaches.
Uganda.
Can you take us through exactly what was exactly breached? And then using your experience, if somebody has breached, whether it is a condition or whatever you're going to describe, would that person still have even locus? Secondly, the arbitrator made a decision. Was it final within the MOU that after the arbitrator, because the arbitrator can also make errors, what happened after that? Did you have opportunity to go somewhere else to review that decision of the arbitrator, or you were comfortable and you said, yes, the arbitrator did the right thing, so we are going to proceed?
Honorable Baba.
Mr. Chairman, there's a lot of public interest in that Centenary Park area, controversial as it has been. And it is contingent upon our committee to make sure that the public interest overrides any other incidental interest. It is up to us really to look at this matter very, very carefully. The space is being required for public works to benefit the public in Uganda, the people of Uganda. I don't see any reason why individual interest is being protected, much as His Excellency the President has said, let's look carefully at her demands. The legal officer has given us parameters where a lot of breaches have already been done on the lease arrangement that was given to the so-called Nalongo. A lot of breaches. And for this committee to entertain, to be part of that breaches, to be absolutely wrong on our part. So let us proceed very carefully, and I would like to advise the legal team that follow the law, follow your procedures, follow what your guidelines in allocating plots, in giving licenses within the city are done properly. Otherwise, we shall be in a lot of problems. Right now, for me, what is paramount is public interest, so that this project is undertaken without any other delay. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Would you like to?
Chair, I also want to add my voice on what members are really saying. It's really disturbing. This is a public project, and it's for the national good. To be held behind because of these other personal interests is really unbecoming. More so when KCCA would have actually handled this. I don't know why they are prolonging all this, fearing to handle these things by themselves and take it to higher levels. Nalongo was given just a conditional lease. And she went and breached even the conditional lease. And went beyond. And people are just babysitting her. I don't understand why they cannot actually handle this thing when it is becoming a national concern. We now need, I think, to talk to Attorney General, find out why he actually gave out this kind of instruction to KCCA. And also meet Nalongo herself. She should be able to tell us what is her take on this. And why is she persisting on this memorandum, which is even taking long to be reached? I don't understand. And we cannot, because it's going to cost us money, and indeed big money, that maybe Nalongo would claim if it continues being delayed this way.
Mr. Chairman, there's one thing I want to add. They have submitted a good document showing the road, of public interest. But in that area, when we are discussing, there are other public utilities. Why haven't you incorporated them so that we know we are discussing and there is land? There is a sewer, there is water. Where are they? Where are they? Because the other time we stopped and they were told to find out what they are. Now you are just showing us the cause of the inquiry. Where are those public utilities in that area, which are essential for the good running of this city? Why haven't you shown them to us? Where are they? What is that map showing the area Nalongo wants? You show us where the road is taking, you show us where those other public utilities are, then we know we are discussing one issue. Clearly marked.
UNRA is ready to answer that very quickly.
Thank you, honorable members. That document is a UNRA document. It was produced by us to show progress of the project. It is true, Honorable Vyanda is correct. There is no pictorial representation of the utilities in Lot 2. We actually focused on Lot 1 because Lot 2, whereas the acquisition is ongoing, and but we are actually just represented Lot 1. So if you will allow us, Chair, we can also present another document showing Lot 2. But it will basically be focusing, I think, on relocation of utilities plus and acquisition of land, because no work has actually started on Lot 2.
Thank you.
Procedural matter.
Procedure.
I think for us to proceed well, let us put a stay on the issue of the Centenary Park, on the issue of Nalongo, until we have KCCA here and the Attorney Solicitor General. It will also give us time for them to send us the documents in advance. We want the original list, all these details. Our team will look at it. Good enough, some of us who handle the same case in process are here. I think we shall also have to engage Honorable Katuntu to get into the committee and our legal team from our legal department here to bring up all the things, because I think it's more of a politics than doing the professional work regarding this matter of Nalongo and Centenary Park. At least he has that background. Who doesn't know that the husband, Nalongo, was the chairperson for La Central and all these things here? And that's why the reason people are fighting for positions in Kampala
Who is the husband? Who is the husband?
Nyakana.
Oh,
yeah. So let us get the all the information, all this process to us early. Then we say still a time when we are going to handle this matter. We shall possibly at that time also would have paid a visit to that area in Lot 2. Let us state and let us handle the issues of Lot 1, or maybe any other issue in Lot 2 outside the line, this contested part here. Because, and we should handle it faster, because it will cost the country when the project is delayed. Yeah? You were saying how much money we are supposed to pay in case $500,000 per month. So we don't want that just because of an individual who even breached the contract of the lease. Because under the current arrangement, because the lease expired 3 years ago, so it's no longer hard. They have not renewed it, they have not done it. So the land has reverted to KCCA. So we even wonder how all this what they are trying to do is. So let us solve it, and when we have that meeting, we shall be able to ask the Attorney General also what the legal basis is. Then we ask the other questions, clarifications, and we move.
And Mr. Chairman, the legal officer should also bring to us those documentation. Is saying the president, we want them here, so that we don't do things. By no president puts things in writing. You bring all those documentation you have claimed. The president said the ordering, so that we look at them.
I hope the legal has some presidential directives of some kind. That's the implication. But before we wind up that matter, Honorable Watongola.
Yes, Chair. I want to agree with my colleagues' suggestions, but I want also to add that we need also to hear from Nalongo as a committee, because we are hearing from one side. We need documents from Nalongo.
Do we agree that we need Nalongo here in this committee? Later in our internal meeting, we shall decide. But let's give a chance to UNRA and KCCA.
Chair, one document.
Thank you so much, Chair. Adding to what my colleague said, I don't think we really need Nalongo here. In the first place, the council himself talked how he put the permanent buildings. It expired. I think the most important thing is him to introduce the documents, the directives from the president, as he said, before we enter into this matter. Because I don't think Nalongo is really needed in this. We need to make a decision. This is a public interest. You're going to delay, then at the end of it all, exactly. So let's agree on what to do in the next meeting. We have the final decision. It shouldn't really take all this long. Thank you.
Honorable members.
Yeah, Chair, finally, there are some statutory obligations that fall to KCCA. Before even the president came, let them demonstrate to us what they were doing. Let the legal department also of KCCA show us value for money for their existence. What was their opinion? What are the correspondences? What are the statutory notices that they gave to Nalongo before that? So that when we reconvene here, we don't again go backwards looking for documents. Everything should come here at once.
I hope, Madam Edie, you have been noting the concerns of honorable members, particularly on the issue of Nalongo and KCCA. We are going to schedule another meeting specifically for that matter. We shall invite the Attorney General, Solicitor General. KCCA will be here. We may also need a representative from the project employer, just a representative, UNRA, to follow on what is happening. We are going to schedule a meeting because now that seems to be a very contentious issue, and it's taking so long. I'm very surprised.
Mr. Chairman, this thing is very urgent. Maybe, don't you think you should take responsibility and write to the president that the legal officer told us you say this, so that he can give us quickly, because he might have lost the documents.
That the legal officer alleges. We shall agree on the procedure in our internal. Yes, honorable members, we are going to agree on the procedure in our internal meeting, but tentatively we need documentation. We are going to communicate the next meeting to you. Of course, it won't be so long from now, because this is a matter of national importance. We do not need to lose that $500,000 because we are just debating something very small. $500,000 per month is too big for this country. So, in light of that, I would like us to conclude the presentations. I'm happy that Madam Edie has pledged to bring information, more information on Lot 2. Maybe in that same meeting, your representative will come with it, so that we get to know the entire issues surrounding this project. So, kindly wind up your presentation on...
No, Chair. No, it's not. I think the presentation was done.
There was still more concerns on the presentation.
It was only you. It was only you who addressed the question.
Correct.
But then the gentleman and the lands, lands here. We are, there's a second one. The issue of Zambia. It's vendors.
It was skipped.
It's vendors. Yeah. We are on Lot 1. We went to dwell so much on the Nalong, but let us get back to Lot 1. That is almost a similar case.
Would you like Carol to begin.
I want to speak to it.
Can Carol begin on that?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair. Exactly, that's what I wanted to talk about, challenges on land, Gaba Road. I've always asked myself, why do KCC have to allow vendors put their structures, start business, and then at the end of it all you find you're having a big project going on, you don't have a solution. First of all, he talked about a state house offering a land which is not available. The work is ongoing. KCC, why do you have to relax and wait for such challenges? People put in their money, vendors are going on, sometimes they even get loans. Then at the end of it all, you find there is confusion. Why do we have to always wait, Madam Edie? Why can't you always stop such people? Allow them not to put their businesses, not to inject in more money. Then at the end of it all, we are having challenges. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Casino.
I don't know why KCCA did not use the opportunity that COVID presented. You know, people were stubborn to leave the park. But when COVID came, it presented the opportunity to close it, start the construction. Because maybe KCCA now is fearing that it will raise, this is the political time. Because during that time, all these things would have been what? Asked to leave. We don't want a situation which we faced again, like Madam Kajina knows, you remember the issue of the bypass, those stubborn guys. It was again COVID that helped us, because everybody was told, get off, curfew, no getting out, so it gave the opportunity to get that place in the Galway. So they should have used the same opportunity to have those guys move their things. But now we are caught up in the situation. But the clarification I would want here, because I think there was two contradicting things. You're saying President's office has secured land and they are doing the construction. But two, you again say there is no land. Can you be very clear? If State House has provided and construction is going on, after all where they are even, they are not permanent structure where they are constructed. It's just small things. So whatever they would have done, they should be able to move and start life from there. The problem with Uganda is that everybody wants in the central business district and causing chaos, causing problems, causing traffic jam, all this. I don't know why Ugandans cannot open up and start thinking outside the box, outside the central business district. So we wanted that clarification from you. Maybe we will at appropriate time also, Chair, invite who is responsible in State House. In that place, we would also need to pay a visit to that place and see the progress of the work. Of course, we know the challenges people are facing. We must also have a human face as we are handling this, but especially during this time. We should be able to get there and also make them understand such that they can expedite the work and they are able to move. They can still move that place, can be handled like the way they handled here, here. And we should be able to move. It should not be something to take forever, because we know what it means if we delay the contractor.
Yeah, just on that very note, Chair.
Okay.
I wanted to really share this. During this COVID time, most people actually had gone to their whatever. I don't know why you didn't take chance to really work on this thing. During this time, people have been away. Because you should have actually taken possession of this area. Yeah, you should have handled all these areas when people are actually at home. Like you did with the old taxi park. When people came, there was nowhere to go. You should have reclaimed these areas during that time. And then you wait, you know the implications attached. Then you just wait until now you lament when they have come back. That's what I wanted to know.
Mr. Chairman, I'm asking ED.
Can we have one meeting?
The ED in charge of the project, I hope it is UNRA. Have you taken steps to try to look into the work program and see that you can see where changes can be made so that we are not caught on the wrong foot? You're already doing it.
Yes,
Please proceed.
Let me ask the project manager to say what arrangements we have with the contractor on reorganizing this program so that he is not stopped from working.
Thank you, Chair. Through ED, regarding the progress of the works, the contractor is already reviewing his program, which was impacted upon by the closure as a result of COVID. We got special clearance from Ministry of Foreign Affairs to have all the foreign staff come back. I think by the end of this month, all of them will be coming back. And also, they are being given special clearance for the equipment they are going to use for the projects. So we're in full discussion with the contractor to see how we can program the work and proceed very efficiently. Thank you.
No, mine was specific on the work program. That's where you have to look and see where there are problems. You sit with the contractor and adjust so that it doesn't become a place of claims.
Through ED Chair, actually that's what we are now doing. Okay, Honorable Mutonyi had something to say also. Honorable Mutonyi, switch on the microphone.
Mr. Chairman, mine is different from what members have raised. Mine, I have two issues. One is about the clock tower. Where is it going to be relocated to? It must be there somewhere. It's historical. Even the area is known as Clock Tower. Queens, okay. Now, my second issue and complaint, Mr. Chairman, is about the works that took place during COVID by KCCA on the Queen's Way. Yes, on the Queen's Way. Along the Queen's Way. KCCA did a lot of works there. But according to what we are seeing here, there is going to be a four-lane, I don't know whether that is the area, a four-lane road. And I'm sure KCCA was part and parcel of the contract. So why did they rush during COVID to make those constructions which cost government so much money, and yet they are going to be demolished by these four lanes? When they started, I thought that the flyover issue was or works were starting, but then we ended up money has been used, and yet that area is earmarked.
Are we listening to Mutonyi?
Yeah, they were consulting each other, maybe in order to answer my question.
Internal memo.
Yes. So the ED, the KCCA was consulting and UNRA was also consulting.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I need clarification on that issue. Why did KCCA, knowing very well that that area is earmarked for four lanes, they went in, there are two lanes, and they did a lot of construction around there, up to Chibuye. Why? Why did they spend that money? The money which has no value. So I need clarification on that one.
Okay, they are ready to clarify.
Putting it that way, maybe we have most answered. Where is the sixth lane going to be? I thought that's where.
Actually, the answer, Chair, is we are not going to demolish what they have put. We are saying we are doing what? Four lanes. So
they have planted grass and they have made.
Of course, the grass will go, but the road will not go. The grass will go. Yes. So we are improving 6 lanes, somewhere 4 lanes, and we are saying 2 lanes are existing. Those are part of the existing. So for us, we are adding. If it is 6 lanes, we are adding 4. If it is 4 lanes, we are adding 2. The other one was their work. When we are designing and planning, we are not part of these new works.
I thought the existing, you are going to use it as one of the structures. If you constructed 4 new lanes and leave these 2, which were just maintained, I think you are going to have a problem. I thought you would use it as one of the road structures, maybe.
That is an advice from an engineer.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want my issue to be brushed aside.
No, they are going to ask.
Because the two lanes are existing. But why did they have to go planting grass? Didn't it cost money? Why did they make pathways, footpaths, and so on? All that costs money.
Recently, as a committee, we went there and we witnessed the beauty, what you have improved as KCCA.
And we appreciate it.
Your predecessor to come through. He even told us that it cost Ugandans money. The concern of the honorable member is why spend that money when you know you're going to lose it.
Chair, maybe it's in the explanation.
Because, yes, let Mohozi explain.
Also, I've been informed that that exact one you're talking about is in outside the project. It's not part of our project.
So where are the fallen coming?
The fallen are in this.
Because I don't see anywhere there.
Former Proctor was going. You can explain later.
I think because, Honorable Mutoni, because when I look at the drawing here, I think because they are going to be flyovers, they are not passing down, they are going to be interchanges. So I think some are going on top of the other. So I think the better place to explain is when we visit there. You can be able to explain when we're on the ground. Yeah, I think that's a better time to explain.
Yes, we shall get a presentation on site so that we get that resolved. Another question?
Yeah. The other issues I want to on the issue of because on the progress of the work, on the relocation of the utilities, especially the telecom, especially on the telecom, Uganda Police Force is far behind because they are the ones who stand at 41%. What could have been the problem? Because we don't want a risk where this will end up delaying the process. I don't know what the police is saying, whether you have engaged with them or not. Then the other one is on page 24 on the pedestrian bridges. They are saying shop drawings for Kibuni Junction pedestrian bridge was submitted. Their shops going to be included in this project. You are building shops for some people. Then the shop drawings for ShopRite and clock tower pedestrian bridges by contractor still awaited. I just wanted a clarification.
Shop drawings does not mean shops. So their drawings used work. No, we have design drawings. They will reach on site, we are doing the actual works. You modify those design drawings, have those drawings, we call them shop drawings. They are not for shops.
Yeah, engineering language.
Okay, I was wondering when you are saying shop drawings or ShopRite, because we know ShopRite is a shop. It's a shop.
Honorable Baba wanted to clarify on that.
So ask about
Kasilo, just give a slot to Honorable Baba.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to draw the attention of the meeting to page 13 of this document on the issue of drainage. As we all know, flooding has been one of the major headaches in that area for many years. Even lives have been lost. My question is whether the arrangement under H conclusively addresses the issue of flooding around Clock Tower area up to ShopRite. Are we satisfied that by doing these measures, we shall have no more flooding in that area once these works are completed? Because if we don't, we shall be in a terrible mess.
Thank you. I thought it was just information, Kasilo, because Kasilo was still on the floor.
Additional, this one is related. About 2 weeks ago, I watched on our local television officials of KCCA blaming Parliament, members of Parliament, for the mess in Kampala. And now that they are here, it was on television. Yes, they said the mess around Kampala, the flooding, is caused by Parliament, members of Parliament.
Are you sure it's not Lukwago?
No, it was from the technical wing. And they are here. If they did not, then they will tell.
Yeah, they will answer. I know they have taken notes. They will answer. Kasilo, please conclude. Then I can ask another question.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. The other one is on Lot 1. I don't know whether I should ask it now or Lot 2, or I should wait and ask it when we are finished with this. I think let me state over, let us conclude with Lot 1, then we can go to Lot 2. But I'm waiting for a response about the police, because they are the ones who are far behind in the relocation of their utilities.
Fire brigade.
Thank you.
What is the police saying?
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, as they come in to answer that question, also on page 8 of 24 of the submission of Engineer Muhozi, I do realize that the completion time for this project is 970 days. That's close to maybe 2.5 years, correct? Around there. We are going through a period of electioneering. We have elections very soon, maybe in another four months from now. But when you talk about Chitugum roundabout,
That's now
Lot 2, which you delayed, which you decided to stay. But let me push through my question. Lot 2, according to my understanding, may affect the offices of the Electoral Commission. If I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected. But if so, do you intend to ask the Electoral Commission to relocate? If yes, how soon? And if so, won't that have implications on the post-election management process? You know, after elections, there are petitions, the information is there, and you know all those things. So, during the process of relocating, can't we lose some information which may have serious implications on Uganda? I need to get that clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of drainage, whether it will be adequate, the duty of working together KCCA with ourselves, that is one of the benefits. The KCCA has the massive program called Kampala Drainage Master Plan or something like that. And during design review, that was informed our design review. That's why in my report you have seen that like National Channel was extended so that it matches what is being designed by this massive program. So we hope with our drainage system that we have put in place, supported by the other master plan, drainage will be handled properly. The issue of electoral commission, yes, actually, those ones we engaged them a long time ago, and we are working together with them. We are not going to demolish any building of theirs without their official consent. They told us that after elections, we will only need like 6 months. That everything will be okay with them, we can demolish. So we shall still engage them. For us, we have timelines when we want them to demolish. Once they have other issues, then we shall engage. We cannot demolish the commission because this.
But that won't affect the project period.
No, we are still that project is looking procured actually. So we are talking of another 1 year.
So Engineer Muhozi, yes. You said the drainage will be over. You did
no.
For which return period were you using?
I don't have the design report here. I can give you that report.
You should be knowing the return period. It's not a difficult thing.
The return period is 50 years.
50 years?
100 years.
No, I'm asking which one did you design for?
I don't have the design report. I don't want to give an answer because I'm being recorded. I need to consult my document.
If you are not recorded,
so, Engineer, are you aware to which other place EC is going to relocate?
For us,
we discuss that.
We compensate them where they go. We don't know.
You just give them compensation?
Yes.
Say leave.
Have you done the compensation? Not yet.
Not yet.
It was compensated.
I think they are also.
But we have valued their property.
I think they are also looking for a place.
You have valued their property.
This work is ongoing. What was the value?
Would you like
We haven't
to?
finished we don't know how much now.
Hey, because I was about to say, would you like to inform the committee how much?
Not yet. That is what in the value.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
sir.
Record.
We went into the KCCA roadworks, and I did not get an answer for the clock tower.
Clock tower is there.
Relocation.
I saw it in the pictures.
There are two questions.
When you look at page 18 of your document, the new clock tower is very beautiful.
That's not
Yeah.
a clock tower.
What is that?
This is a fountain. What?
But they named it new clock tower square.
This is a square.
I don't know.
Oh, new clock tower square.
New
But
clock
they're
tower.
not showing that
There's
one
a
as
fountain.
a clock tower.
It's a square, not a
What is that thing standing?
It's a square, not a tower. He's asking for a
No,
tower.
but there's something standing like a tower.
but
Would the engineers want to clarify on that? On page 18.
There is no clock.
Eh?
There is no clock.
There's no clock in the tower.
Clock on that
It's a
tower.
square. It's a square, not a clock.
Engineer Mohoz, why are you distorting our history? Where is the clock in the tower? That's what the name is.
And it is standing in a fountain of water.
Chairman, if he wants to speak like Tango Doi when he was asked why he's saying this is a leading candidate, a winner, he said, which school did you go to? You don't understand English.
I might ask them, which school? What's the clock tower?
So-
This one
so-
I've studied it. It doesn't have the clock.
The member is concerned about the clock, like we have Big Ben in London.
Tower square.
This is our clock tower. Now you have removed it.
Chair, we can answer that one.
Why do you need a tower?
Where did they put the tower? The clock. Chair through ED, the clock tower is going to be located in a Pan-African Square.
Where?
Pan-African Square, which is just next to,
Towards the other markets.
towards the
South.
Pan-African Square. If you are around there. There's a power sub whatever. That's very near.
Next to power substation.
Yeah, the clock tower will have a fountain nearby.
No, this is the one.
Yeah, it will, yeah. But there's no clock. That is that's any illustration. The detail.
Resisted and we took him there to plant.
What's the last question of the clock?
The answer is
And I'm a teacher. I want a real.
no, the clock will be there. If
Yeah.
you want,
It is on this thing.
you can produce a drawing showing the
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. In the next information they will bring, they'll provide the
This
detailed.
artistic
Yeah.
impression should show us
The clock. Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Casilo, then Honorable Biandala.
Yeah, I'm still waiting the other one of the police force, but now that you raised the issue of electoral commission, when I saw a construction starting from Africana towards the park, I thought you were preparing to have a bypass such that when the construction starts. But I've seen the work just stop around when you come from between Africana and the Menjinja Road. You know, there was that road which comes through Nakumat bypass. I thought it was going to continue up to join this roundabout of Nakumat here. What happened? Because I see you have only stopped the other side. Oh, it is still the issue of the compensation or what? On Lot 2. Yeah, that's Lot 2. So I just want to ask, because when I saw the construction start from the other side, I thought you are moving ahead of time, such that by the time the construction starts,
There seems to be some construction.
yeah, there's construction of road construction.
Is it part of this project?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a small road
But the work
behind.
started from Africana to come in. But if you follow that road, you come and get out from behind Nakumat and get out from this roundabout. But they have only done,
Anita was in charge.
I think, about 200 meters.
They ran after Anita.
So because I thought, because in the last discussion, I think when we had KCCA here before you came in, I think the idea you were mooting towards this because we were asking when the work starts, where will traffic take? So you diverted. So I thought that was the road you are starting to do. such that when the time comes, that's where the traffic diversion. So I wanted to know what happened. Is it part of it, or it was just a small 200 meters? Because there's a road which passes, comes behind Nakumat and enters through this roundabout. So I just wanted to understand.
Wait for the police.
Through the ED, yeah, that's not part of the flyover project. It's a project financed by the road fund. It has an emergency fund for traffic. Sometimes the traffic busted, 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 sometimes the traffic